Hello, I'm Deanne Golden and pleased to serve as the 94th president of the Atlanta REALTORS Association in 2019. Words alone cannot express my excitement and gratitude to my Realtor family for bestowing this opportunity to serve our membership and our industry. So instead, come inside our Atlanta REALTOR Center for an inspiring look at who we are as the voice of Atlanta real estate. Let's reflect on our legacy as Realtors and know our story, for it is over a century long of making home ownership matter and protecting private property rights. As always, we invite you to continue to be a part of our next exciting chapters as Atlanta's Real Estate Professionals Association of Choice with over 9,000 members. And truly, there is no better way than to listen to the commitment, passion, and pride of our past presidents. They are some of the most dedicated and influential real estate leaders who give of themselves with tireless devotion to help keep the dream of home ownership and private property rights alive for years to come for our members and our industry. So let's take a listen.
In 1992, I had the honor of being the president of the Residential Society. You see, between 1990 and 1993, we had societies, residential and commercial. The reason we had those is we were trying to convince the National Association of Realtors that we should have a commercial board of realtors recognized by the National Association. It took us 3 years, but my most proud accomplishment was I was part of that transition. We convinced NAR that we should have a commercial board, and we have the #1 charter in the nation for a commercial board of realtors in our rotunda.
As the 2003 president, then it was the Atlanta Board of Realtors. Probably the highlight of my year was contributing a significant sum of money to the campaign and the election, the successful election of our great senator from the state of Georgia, Johnny Isakson. The board had never contributed that amount of money before. The advice I would give current and future leaders is focus on 1 or 2 things each year. What you focus on expands. Be successful in what your goals are for the association. Helping our members do more deals, become more productive is great. Raising the bar on the consumer experience is even better.
When I was president in 2005, I so fondly remember actually 2004 when I was working to select the team for the year I was president, and how much I enjoyed counseling with past presidents from many, many years before about their experiences and their passions about our association.
Some of the things that I most remember about that year were that the Atlanta real estate market was at its peak, and our membership followed right along with that. But our leadership team recognized that that trend was about to change, and we put some plans in place to ensure that as we move forward, that we are still able to provide member services at a high level without raising dues. A lot of that had to do with making certain that our reserve funds were well funded even during good times. The other thing that I am real proud of during that time frame is that we recognized that our leadership team did not necessarily reflect that of our membership, and we took some steps to improve that along the way.
As 2008 board president, 2 things stand out during my year. One, as you know, it was a very difficult time for our industry and our economy, and I was very fortunate to work very closely with Senator Isakson and so many others in passing the first-time home buyer tax credit. Secondly, that year we got the board involved in the Susan G. Komen effort to raise money to help find a cure for breast cancer. That was very important to me that year.
I was president of the association in 2013. We were just coming out of the downturn at that time, and so our membership numbers were a good bit lower than they are today. And one of the most important changes we made during that year was we started the fundraiser. It was the big cocktail party to raise money for Habitat for Humanity. It took the place of the auction, which we had had for many years at the board offices, and it was getting to be a bit stodgy, and so we changed to fundraiser.
Hey everyone, Deanne and Ennis here, coming to you from the finish line of the Realtors Relief Run in Boston 2018. And seeing you here this morning reminds me that what we do every day as purveyors of the American dream doesn't always have a happily ever after.
That's correct.
Because sometimes destruction and damage happens. And what did today mean to you?
It meant a lot because, first of all, it's raining, it's cold, and it's wet. And this is the Realtor Relief Fund Run. And it doesn't matter how bad the weather is, we must always make time to give back to our community. Rain, snow, or sleet, we're going to always give back.
And that's what you've done as our past president. I am so grateful for the legacy you have left, and the fact that you're out here today still running and leading the way inspires those of us that have the opportunity to carry on your legacy and make a difference. So thank you for all you do,
Thank you.
Mr. Past President.
Thank you. And if you're watching the video, it doesn't matter what talent you have, make time to give back. Always. We are the voice of peace.
The fondest memory I have of 2016 is starting out as the Atlanta Board of Realtors President and ending as the President of the Atlanta REALTORS Association. Certainly, our rebranding made a huge difference in our membership, our local recognition, and our national recognition. It also helped members recognize the importance of being a Realtor as well.
I thought I would take this moment to remark on a couple of highlights from my year at the helm to share with you. First, 2017 goes in the history books as the first year of our rebranding and name change to the Atlanta REALTORS Association. Secondly, we rolled out the Community Partner Program, where we reached out to our former association sponsors and asked for a one-time sponsorship as a package of offerings, as opposed to multiple asks throughout the calendar year for individual requests from different members. This has proven to be a game changer for our association.
My theme the year I was president was know your heritage and show your heritage. And I'm not talking about your family of heritage, I'm talking about your heritage as a realtor as well. There's a realtor difference, and it's up to us as members of the Atlanta REALTORS Association to make sure our clients are aware of what that realtor difference is. The other that struck me as really succinct and probably the most impactful during my term as president was I was talking to one of the members and they expressed appreciation and thanks to me for serving as president of the Atlanta REALTORS Association. And almost at the same time that they expressed that thanks, they said, "Why did you agree to serve?" And my immediate and impulsive response back to them was, "Why would I not agree to serve?" The Atlanta REALTORS Association is an association that is highly respected around the country. We have a wonderful full-time staff that helps contribute to that reputation that we have nationally and statewide and locally. But it's a volunteer association. And without volunteers that volunteer for membership, that volunteer for committees, that volunteer for chairs, for directors and executive positions, we wouldn't have the reputation we have now.
Wow. Well, there's just a small glimpse into who we are and what we stand for at ARA as our story and legacy unfolds year after year. Thank you to all of our past presidents, those who shared highlights from their chapters in our story here, and to all 93 past leaders who have guided our membership since 1910. Thank you to every Atlanta Realtor member for being a part of us. You are the inspiration of why we serve. Atlanta Realtors, we are intent on continuing the long legacy of guiding buyers and sellers to the next chapter in their story and making homeownership matter and bringing real property rights into the forefront. For as Realtors, we are just that. We're guides. We're leading others to the home of their dreams or other sound financial investments. We're helping buyers and sellers make significant financial decisions when it comes to having a roof over their heads or land under their feet and property to invest and own in. We are advising, counseling, supporting. We're listening, celebrating, and leading. We're promoting, protecting, and defending private property rights and speaking up loud as the voice of Atlanta real estate, loud and clear. And most importantly, we ascribe to being authentic, honest, and fair, and ethical, and always upholding fair housing practices in all we do. You know, we're dream makers and change makers, and we truly have the gift of making life and community come alive, and what a privilege it is.